Hello, friends. Welcome to today's football predictions on Betcraft. Another very beautiful Monday morning, and once again we are back with our predictions right on this very channel. Always what we do. We always look at football games that goes on across the globe. Get to start on each of these matches, and also make our predict before bringing it forward for you. That's what we do on a daily basis. Okay. And yesterday we had a very wonderful day, seeing that all the predictions that we had yesterday actually came out just the way we predicted them. We had all big odds yesterday, all playing out. That's why I always tell you, do not be afraid of big odds. Sometimes you try out a big odds to see how it goes. And yesterday it was quite very wonderful. All right, today we go again, and we'll be starting with as usual, our games. All right, but before we do that, we'll be asking those of us who are coming across our video for the first time, if you're yet to subscribe, take out time to hit the button right now so that you won't be missing out on our games that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. All right, that being said, without further ado, we'll head to the business of today, and we'll be starting with the very first match today. It is in English Premier League, where we have Leicester City, who will be coming up against Newcastle United. All right, when you look at stats for these two teams, you could see that for Leicester City, they've been doing poorly in recent times. In the last 6 matches that they have so far, sort of losing all 6 games, and the way side, Newcastle United have actually managed to achieve 4 victories in the last 6 games. They've also had 2 losses as well. All right, when you look at how these two teams have performed from home and away perspective, you could see that playing from home, the home side, Leicester City have managed just 2 victories and a draw in the last 10 home matches, but have also lost 7 games. As a matter of fact, the last 5 home games that they have so far, suddenly losing out on all 5 games. All right, but the away side, Newcastle United have managed to achieve 8 victories in the last 10 away matches. They've also lost 2 matches out of those. All right, on head-to-head basis, the last time both teams met, it was Newcastle played from home. That was in December, and we saw Newcastle beating this very side by 4-0 on that occasion. And in this very one, we are definitely giving it to the away side, Newcastle United, who will be looking to move forward. Probably achieve a European position for next season. So we'll be expecting the away side to take the day away to win outrightly. That's what we expect for that very game. And the next is in Italian Serie A, we'll have Bologna, who will be coming up against that's Napoli. All right, for Bologna, they've been doing fantastic in recent times, winning 6 games out of the last 6 matches. 6 out of 6 for Bologna, and we saw the away side Napoli winning 2 games and 3 draws in the last 6 games, but they've also lost once in the last 6 recent encounters. And when you take a look at how these two teams fared from home and away perspective, you could see that playing from home, Bologna have done very well as well. Winning 8 games out of the last 10 home matches, and also having 1 draw and losing 1. And away side, Napoli, on the other hand, have won 5 games and 3 draws, but have also lost 2 matches in the last 10 away games that they had so far. All right, on head-to-head comparison, we could see that last time both teams met, it was Napoli who won. They played from home on that occasion, winning by 3-0 against Bologna. But prior to that, we saw Bologna beating this very side from away in May of last year by 2-0 from away. So Bologna have been doing very well, have been showing signs of good promise in recent times, and we'll be expecting Bologna to not lose entirely in this very one. We'll be expecting the home side to either win or draw, and under 4.5. That's our value for that very game. Home win or draw, and under 4. That's our verdict. Okay. And the next that we have is in Sweden. When we have a Malmo FF, will be coming up against Elfsborg. All right, we know that Malmo in the last 6 have seen 6 victory out of 6. They're doing very well at recent times. And away side, Elfsborg have had 2 victories and 2 draws, and also 2 losses in the last 6 matches that they had in recent times. All right, when you take a look at how these two teams fared, from home and away perspective, you can see Malmo have actually won 8 matches and a draw, but also lost 1 against Twente on that occasion. Out of the last 10 home matches, they've been winning and doing very well. Winning 80% of the last 10 home games. All right, and the away side, on the other hand, Elfsborg have won 3 games from away and 1 draw, but have also lost 6 matches out of the last 10 away matches that they had. As a matter of fact, the last away game they had was against Malmo, and they lost out by 1-0 on that occasion. So on head-to-head basis, Malmo have actually dominated the proceedings. The last 5 meetings have seen Malmo winning 3 times out of 5, and Elfsborg actually winning 2 times. All right, but in this one, we are giving it to the home side, who have shown good form in recent times. And we expect to see Malmo winning outrightly in this very one. Home win outrightly. That's what value for that very game. Okay, that takes us to the next. Also in the Swedish league, but the Swedish second division, Super 10, we'll have a Vega Boys who will be up against Orebro. All right, and when you look at the stats for these two teams, you can see that Vega Boys, the home side, have won once and they've also had 2 draws in the last 6 matches, but they've also lost 3 games out of those, and away side Orebro have had just 1 win and a draw, but have lost 4 games out of the last 6 matches. All right, and when you look at how they fared from home and away perspective, the boys have won 4 games from home, and they've also had 4 draws, and they've lost 2 matches out of those last 10 home games that they have so far. All right, when you look at the away side Orebro, it is just 2 victories and 3 draws in the last 10 away games, but they've also lost 5 matches out of those 10 away games that they have so far. And when we look at how they fared on head-to-head base, the last time both teams met, it was in a 1-1 draw, but prior to that, we saw Orebro beating this very side from home by 3-1 on that occasion. Also, we saw Vega Boys doing very well, winning from away by 3-0, and actually, when we put all the data together, also noting the fact that the Orebro, their away side, have been averaging at least 1.5 goals in the last 10 away games that they have so far, and home side are also averaging 2 goals, in the last 10 home matches. So we'll be expecting to see goals play out in this one, and we are going for much more safer option, and we expect to see a minimum of 2 goals and over 1.5. That's valid for that very game. All right, that takes us to the next. It is in Romania League 1, where we have CFR Cluj who will be facing Universitatea Craiova. All right, Cluj have actually won 3 matches and 2 draws out of the last 6 matches. They've also lost 1 in Craiova, and the away side have won 4 games and 1 draw, but have also lost just once in the last 6 games that they have so far. All right, when you look at how these two teams perform from home and away perspective, you could see playing from home, Cluj have actually done very well, winning 7 games and 3 draws in the last 10 home matches. They've not lost a single match in the last 10 home games that they have so far. And the away side Craiova, on the other hand, have won 4 games, and they've also had 3 draws in the last 10 away games, and have lost 3 matches as well. All right, and taking a look at how these two teams fend on head-to-head comparison, you could see it was a 1-1 draw the last time both teams met. That was earlier of this very month, and they played at a 1-1 draw on that occasion in Copa Romania. And prior to that, we saw CFR Cluj from away defeating this very side by 2-0 last year December. But in this very one, we are going for the home side to not lose shortly, so we expect to see the home side CFR Cluj either winning or draw, and yet on the 4.5. So we're not going to see a lot of goals, but we're going to expect to see home side not to lose. Home win or draw, and under 4. That's what we expect for that very game. And the next, which happen to be the last for today, is in Turkey Super League, where we have Kasimpasa who will facing Besiktas. Okay, for Kasimpasa, the home side, it is 2 victories and a draw in the last 6 matches, and they've also had 3 losses out of the last 6 games. And away side, Besiktas have won 2 matches, losing 4 games out of those. All right, then when you take a look at how these two teams performed on home and away perspective, you can see Kasimpasa have won 4 matches and 2 draws, but have also had 4 losses out of the last 6 out of the last 10 home matches. And the away side of Besiktas have won 4 games as well and 2 draws, and also losing 4 in the last 10 away games that they have so far. All right, but when you look closely at the results for both sides, you can see for Kasimpasa, over 2.5 have been quite featuring, in most of the matches that they have so far in the last 10 home matches that they had. 9 games out of those 10 home games actually produced lots of goals, over 2.5 at minimum. And the away side, Besiktas have actually, done very well for themselves, averaging 2 goals per away game. So we'll be expecting to see a lot of goals, coming out in this one. Also noting the fact that on head-to-head basis, the last time they met, it was Kasimpasa who won by 3-1 from away. That was in November of last year. And also the last, the last 6 meetings for both sides produced over 2.5. So we'll be expecting to see a similar result appearing here. It is a minimum of 3 goals. That's what we expect for that very one, over 2.5. That's what value for that very game. And that brings our predictions for you today on Betcraft to conclusion. We wish you the very best of luck and hope your ticket goes green. Also remember to play responsibly, as these are football games that sometimes may not be exactly what it presents. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day. We'll be back with our predictions right on this very channel. Do not miss out. But until that time, keep winning.